In today's video, my friend Kaleb and I get up before sunrise so we could make it to Garr Ranch on Antelope Island State Park. Now we are coming here because it is a forested area in the middle of the Great Salt Lake, making it a really great stopping point for fall migrants making their migratory journey southward. We're hoping to find tons of warblers and flycatchers at this really incredible birding hotspot. So come along with us for this journey. Good morning, welcome back to another video. I'm here again at Antelope Island, again with Kaleb. His Instagram will be linked down in the description. Today we're starting at Garr Ranch though, because we are focusing more on warblers and other migratory species instead of shorebirds, though we will also be looking for gulls and shorebirds later in the day. Should be a good adventure. Let's get after it. As the sun peeked over the horizon, we began to see our very first birds. Through the trees, I was able to spot a few western tanagers here, and then the ever so energetic ruby-crowned kinglet was hopping around the branches. We also had a host of incredible flycatchers this morning too. I think this one here is a Hammond's flycatcher, though I may have mixed it up with a few of the other species we saw. Just like always, my checklists will be in the description down below if you want to see exactly the birds we saw on this outing. One thing I've been trying to improve with my videos is the audio quality, because I really love capturing bird song, though I've had a few issues recently. I did try this ridiculous setup out here with some stereo recording, so listen to the western meadowlark calls I was able to capture. If you live out in Utah, you are well aware of this beautiful bird call. It's a lot of people's favorite, and I really love it too. I was actually able to locate these western meadowlark. I didn't notice them at first, but they were all up in the top of the tree here. Some of them were on the ground too, but they just have a beautiful, beautiful call that I love capturing. Now I'm still working on getting better audio for sure. I was picking up a ton of camera noise, and these new mics I was trying out had a little bit of interference too. So if you have any tips on recording great bird audio, I'd love to hear them in the comments, but it's going to be something I'm going to experiment with a lot more in future videos. I might even get into field recording and get a separate standalone audio recorder, because I really do love it that much. Throughout the whole morning, we were keeping our eye out for rarities, especially looking in the underbrush for something like a super rare ovenbird coming through. One of those skulky birds in the brush that finally popped out for me though is this green-tailed towhee, a very, very beautiful bird, and it was nice that it popped on top of this tree instead of staying underneath it all hidden like it was for most of the day. Sadly for us, the staff at Antelope Island had to do some work in the area and started some chainsaws and wood chippers, so we saw our last few species at Garr Ranch and then headed out to go look in some other areas for more birds. It was really nice to end on this close looks at this Wilson's warbler though. I really appreciated that.
All those feathers are still super fresh.
And in the blink of an eye, we've spent over 2 hours here just looking at all the warblers and vireos to see if we could find anything cool. Some very great species, actually. As always, I'll put my checklists and trip report down in the description if you want to see everything that we saw, because I absolutely did not get all those quick moving birds on camera. Now we're going to move on a little bit south, check for some other groves of trees, see if we can catch any stray migrants that may have come through the area, and then we're going to hit up some shorebirds and gulls. If this was our first time at Antelope Island, we would have spent a lot more time on the island itself looking for things like sage thrasher and burrowing owl, but we had seen a lot of those species already for this year, so we were focused on tree patches looking for warblers and flycatchers and other things moving through. We unfortunately did not find a lot outside of this deer and a few yellow-rumped warbler, as well as a couple of other warblers like a very nice McGillivrays that I did not get on camera. But anyways, I've birded Antelope Island so much, which is why I didn't stop for the typical burrowing owl and maybe the American bison pictures that many people would look for on their very first time. I definitely want to film these species again, for sure, but we had targets in mind and we were laser focused on finding those. So we were checking this very final mulberry grove to look for any other species before heading to the Causeway to see if we could pick up a rare gull and some sandpipers. Unfortunately, no rare warblers or flycatchers to add to the list, so to the Causeway it is. Alright, so we've transitioned to the Causeway. We are doing shorebirds second today, opposed to doing them right away in the morning because we wanted to see all the warblers first. And we got a few targets now. It's crazy how much has changed here in just 2 weeks. All of the Wilson's phalaropes you would have seen in my video a couple of weeks back are basically gone. I don't see a single one out here. There might be some other flocks of them down the Causeway a little bit more, but we had thousands of them here in this area just 2 weeks ago, and they're already heading out of here. So we have a couple different targets. We are hoping to get a Sabin's gull, and then I also really want to get those lifer sandpipers too. Now, we got some information from some other birders on where to kind of check for the sandpipers, so I'm pretty hopeful about those. But yeah, let's scan this Causeway for a bit. Well, that was surprisingly easy. When we do these rare bird chases like this, where there's only a few individuals, we usually get skunked or it takes ages. I saw 2 interesting juvenile gulls and I pointed the one out as it was flying to Kaleb. I'm like, hey, you should check those gulls out. Those look weird, kind of just like throwing a shot out there in the dark. And turns out they were both Sabin's gulls. So lifer for Kaleb, which is really exciting that I was able to help with that. Now we're gonna go see if we can pick me up a lifer and get some sandpipers. Although the huge flocks of phalaropes were largely gone, we still had tons and tons of northern shoveler. Let me zoom out and show you. I thought they looked like battalions lined up like this on the different islands and off in the distance too. There were thousands of them, that's for sure. There were also a few eared grebe. You can find some rare horn grebe if you spend the time and pick through these. We were focused on sandpipers, and so we moved along to look for some other species. Unfortunately, yet again, not a single peep, but still an awesome day looking at warblers, birding around Garr Ranch, and getting those Sabin's gulls, which is sweet. So of course, make sure to go check out Kaleb's Instagram. That'll be linked in the description. Thank you as always for watching my videos. See you in the next one. Happy birding.